Welcome on the Evolve Fitness podcast. Today it's a solo episode and we are going to talk about prep. Most importantly, is it the right time to prep? And are you ready to prep? These are questions you should ask yourself before starting prep because prep is not easy. Prep is far. Prep is very far from being easy, and it's something you should think about before starting because prep implies being in a calorie deficit for a long time, like usually several months. It can range from 30 weeks to 20 weeks, 16 weeks, if you want to be ready, of course. Less than 16 weeks is, in my opinion, a bit too short to be built on stage. It's another topic, but like it will be many weeks in a calorie deficit. And what does that mean? It means you will be tired, your emotions are going to be all over the place, you will be lethargic, low libido, hungry all the time. It will be hard to focus. And you'll have many things to nail because you will have to do your steps, your cardio, your training, you will have to practice your posing. So it's many things you have to do on prep, and you have to think about it in advance and put yourself in the best condition to be able to prep in the best way possible. So, like, don't get me wrong, you will never have like the perfect time to prep. Like, it's life is life. You cannot be in the perfect, most optimal condition the whole time, the whole prep. Things are going to happen, like obstacles on your way, like things you weren't planning about. Everything can happen, but you have to put yourself in the best condition you can. So you have to plan in advance and to to see when it's the best time for you to prep, because not all times are the best times. And you have to think about month ahead, not only 2 3 weeks ahead. So all these like effects of being on prep, so lethargy, um like hard to focus and low energy, like low libido, everything else, it will have consequences on your daily life. And if you have a job, if you have a very like high intellectual job where you have to focus a lot and it's very technical and stuff, you have to think about it because prep can impact a lot your focus and your brain capacity. So I just think you have to take into account when you think about prep and starting prep. Also, you will have to be on point with prep every single day. So as I said, you have to nail your steps, your diet, your training, everything. Like you cannot really miss the trainings, or you cannot just like binge eat for several days and think it's fine. You have to stick with your diet, to stick with your calories and stick with the macros, so you're progressing in the right direction. So yeah, it means like you have to be in a good headspace and have a strong work ethic and discipline to be able to do your prep the proper way. So this is why you have to think about all of that and find the best time for you to prep. For example, if you know many things are going to happen in the next month, like big things in your life, maybe it's not the right time to prep then. Just wait a bit after that, when you're in a good condition to do so and you have the time and the mental space to be able to nail prep. So let's talk about the main points you have to think about and be sure everything is all right. And it will help you to be able to think about it and answer these questions like, are you ready to prep? Is it the right time to prep? So the first point is you have to be in a good place financially and at work. Why? Because prep is very expensive. Unfortunately, bodybuilding is not a sport where you can earn a lot of money. If you're a pro and you're going to the Olympia, yes, you can earn money, but it's still not a lot. Like, for example, Chris Bumstead, he won the Olympia. and he earned only $50,000. Like, okay, it may seem a lot, but this guy is the best in the fucking world. It's like in the top, is the first, the best one is like the first, you know? So compared to other sports where the best athletes are paid so much more, bodybuilding is not a sport where you can earn a lot of money from the sport by itself. So like from competing, you can earn a lot of money from sponsors, from like developing your like supplements company, for example. Many bodybuilders or coaches are doing that. They just create their own supplement companies, or you can earn money being a coach. You can be a good coach. You can be a good athlete and a good coach. You can, I don't know, sell clothes. You can make your own clothing range. So there are several options to earn money besides competing. So it all depends on what you like and what you want. But sponsors are harder and harder to get. Usually it's like supplements companies sponsoring you, so you have to advertise for their products. Um, it can be like clothing companies, fitness brands sponsoring you, but it's pretty rare. Like you have to be very famous to have a big platform on Instagram, for example, for them to be interesting to work with you. Because if you're not famous, they won't really care. So this is why like bodybuilding is expensive because you still have to pay for your show. You have to pay to compete. And if you're a pro, for example, it's pretty expensive. Like competing as an amateur, it's okay. So it's like 50 euros, maybe 100 euros, 150 for pro qualifier, even maybe 200 euros to compete for one show. But if you're a pro, it's more expensive because you have less pro shows and there is a higher caliber of athletes. So yeah, it's more prestigious and stuff. So you have to pay more money to compete at this show. So competing can be extremely expensive. And I'm talking only about stepping on stage, like for one show. But you have to also tan, to buy a bikini, to buy jewelries. Um, you have to buy food, to travel. Maybe if it's not in your country, if it's not next to you, you have to travel by plane. You have to book a hotel. You have many things to pay for. Maybe you have also to pay for a coach if you're not self-coach. Maybe you should pay for a podium coach, like many things to deal with. And if you're not natty, you have to pay for drugs. So bodybuilding as a whole is extremely expensive. It's an expensive sport. And even when you're the best, one of the best in the world, you don't earn a lot of money from this sport. So it's a lot of money you invest, but you don't have a lot in return. Except, as I said, if you have your own like business and you have many sponsors. But it's not the case for a lot of athletes. Like it's only for, I don't know, 5% of total athletes, bodybuilding athletes. So yeah, bodybuilding is expensive, and this is why you need to be in a good situation to compete. You have to have money on the side to be able to afford everything, and your work has to be stable, so you're sure you're not digging a hole financially because of competing and bodybuilding. So you have to have a good work, which is paying you a lot of money, so you can afford competing without having to starve for months after because you don't have money anymore and you're completely broke. So it's things to think about. Like, do you have enough money to compete and pay for everything and still live normally on the side? Like, you shouldn't have to restrict yourself for a month in order to be able to compete and to afford it. So this is the first point. You have to be in a good financial situation and a stable job so you can afford everything without having to worry about paying your rent or eating food for the next month. So yeah, think about that. And I think it's one of the most important thing because it can go, like, it can be very, very expensive, especially if you have to compete abroad. Traveling is expensive, and everything else, as I said, for competing, like just registering to a show. Then you also have to be surrounded by people who respect you, support you, and are going to be positive for you. Why? Because on prep, you will be stressed out, tired, like irritable, because you don't have a lot of patience. You're hungry all the time. You're like in starvation mode all the time. And your patience is not as high as it was in off season. So you can get angry more easily, and you you don't have a lot of time available to. You don't have a lot of time available because you have to do everything perfectly. Training takes a lot of time. Cardio takes a lot of time. Posing takes a lot of time, and steps take a lot of time, especially at the end of prep, where you have a lot of cardio, a lot of steps. So most of your day is focused around prep. So you won't have as much time to be social and to meet with your circle, your family, your friends. So your friends, they have to understand what's going on for you, and to understand that maybe you won't have as much time for them at this point, but you will have time for them later after prep, more time at least. And also, they should support you in the way that, like, they know what you're going through, like prep and having to be on point with your diet and everything else. So they shouldn't try to like move you away from prep. For example, asking you to go out for a drink or to go to the restaurant, because they know that you cannot really do that. You cannot really afford that in prep. So if they always push you to do things you cannot really do, it will make you more stressed, more uncomfortable, and it's not okay. So people surrounding you, they have to be good people for you. So just people supporting you and your sport, supporting the fact that it's important for you, it's your passion, and it has like implications. Um, and you cannot do everything you were doing before for this time period because you have a specific goal, and this goal implies being disciplined and having to follow a diet, like to follow to the T your diet, and you cannot really afford eating burgers every week with them, you know. So just be surrounded by people who are pulling you up and who are by your side and who are supporting you, and just do different things with them. Like, for example, instead of going to the restaurant, maybe just go for a coffee and you just take a black coffee and you just enjoy some time with them. Maybe just go for a drink, but you don't order alcohol. You just order a Coke Zero, or, like something without calories. Maybe you can just go for a walk. You go for a walk. So at least you do your steps with them. So it's like double thing. Like, you do your steps and you enjoy time with your friends or family. So it's really about quality time and really focusing on the time being spent with these people and not what you are doing with these people. So, like, for example, it's not about the food, like eating at a restaurant. It's not about the food, it's about spending time with them. So if you can just use this and incorporate it in your prep. So, for example, as I said, walking with them, doing your steps with them, or just going for coffee, it's I think the best way possible to maintain a good relationships and still spend some time with people and still be social, rather than being in a weird position and having some conflicts with people. So also, you shouldn't completely isolate yourself. You should still remain social, especially if it's good for your mental health. Just try to do things differently and just adapt them, adjust them to your prep. So this is important. And also, if you are surrounded by good people for you, people supporting you, they will be here when it's hard, they will be here to comfort you, to be here by your side when things are starting to get tricky, and they're going to help. They're going to help. For example, my friends, when I went to my shows, I had to travel, and I have a dog and a cat, so they were here to just take care of my dog and my cat while I was away, and it means a lot because I my dog and my cat are like my kids, so I'm not trusting anybody to just take care of them except my close friends, and I'm very lucky that they just wanted to help me and help me with that. So this is why it's important. And also they're here to celebrate with you. Like for example, if you place well to a show, or just if you even if you didn't place, doesn't matter. Like when you go to a show and you step on stage and you had a great time, they are here to celebrate with you. They are here to eat at the restaurant after your show. They are here to cheer you up, to ask you news about the show and to discuss with you. Like it has another vibe when you're surrounded by these people, um, and they celebrate with you and they are by your side also at this time. It's way better. It's a better time. So yeah, this is the second point I wanted to talk about. Just be careful with who you're surrounding with, and just take care of them, but in a different way. In a different way. So like just incorporate in your prep, go for a coffee with them, go for a walk with them instead of going to the restaurant, instead of going to parties. Just do things a bit differently, and also communicate well with them. Explain them what it means to you. Explain them that it's important, it's a big goal, it's something you really want to achieve. And if they care about you, if they love you, they will understand. Even if they don't like bodybuilding, even if they don't care about bodybuilding, if they love you, they will care about you and how you feel. And if they feel that it's important for you, they will respect that and support you, even though maybe they don't like bodybuilding. Maybe they don't like you to do bodybuilding. But as they see that it's important for you, they will support you anyway. So if they don't support you, even after explaining you everything and stuff, maybe they're not the right people around you. Maybe you should just, select a bit better people surrounding you. So yeah, it's the second point I wanted to talk about. Third point, you have to be mentally ready to be in a deficit for a month. Being in a deficit, as I said, it has several effects on your body. You will be tired all the time. Your emotions are going to be all over the place. It will be hard to focus. It will be like you will be hungry all the time. Your motivation to do things is going to be lower. It can feel very exhausting at one point. When you have to do your steps, your cardio, to eat low food and you're tired, your sleep is not great. Like it's definitely not easy. And you have to be ready to struggle, to really struggle for a few months and to be in a deficit and to to eat low food and everything it implies for a few months. So it's something you have to consider, because if you have some issues with food, for example, if you have some binge eating disorders or some behaviors around food that are not really healthy, well, maybe you shouldn't prep. Maybe you should fix before this behavior issue with food. And then when you are in a healthy place, prep. But prep is not going to be a good thing for you if you have already emotional attachment with food and binge eating disorders. So really think about it and be ready to be in a deficit for a few months. Then we go for the fourth point. It will be kind of linked to the second point, but it's a bit different. It has other caveats. So you shouldn't prep if you have big social events coming in the next month, or I don't know, holidays, or you have to move somewhere to travel. it's not it's not okay, because it will make everything way harder than it should, and there is no point. It's Prep is hard by itself. Don't make it harder with other things like that. So this is why you have to plan ahead and choose the right time to prep, because you already know that you will have to handle prep and it's not easy. So don't plan your prep when you have many things to plan on the side and to do on the side, which are going to be taxing and are going to require more energy, and it will be even harder to prep. So if you have weddings or big family events, or like you have to travel, maybe prep at another time. Prep when it's calm. Prep when you don't have big things going on. So, for example, don't prep over Christmas. Don't prep if you have to be like to travel 1 month in another country. Prep when it's chill. Prep when you don't have anything to do, like anything special to do. Maybe some things are going to happen. I don't know. Maybe something will, like your boss is going to call you and to tell you, okay, I need you to go there for 1 week, because you have like a workshop or something and you have to go there. So yeah, it is what it is. You will have to work around it. But if it's something happening like that randomly, well, just work around it. But if there are some things which are already planned for a long time, or you know that Christmas is coming, maybe wait and prep later when it's calmer for you. Because if you're traveling, it will be messy to find the food you like, and to go to the gym with the same routine, and to weigh yourself, to measure yourself, to take check-in pics. Like, it's way better to prep when the conditions are stable the whole time. So you can be in your normal environment, to have a good routine, and it will help lowering your stress a lot. But if you're traveling a lot, it will be stressful. Traveling is stressful. It's a stress for your body, it's a mental stress. So it's not going to help you. It's way better, way easier to go through prep with the same environment, same routine, do everything the way you want. So it will be just way like easier, and you will feel more relaxed. Everything will be easier to target and to do. So you really have to make sure you don't have big plans coming, so you can really focus only on your prep and try to remove as much as possible the external source of stress. So, for example, I've done my prep in 2021, and it was so I started during the second semester of my fourth year, and I finished um, during the first semester of my fifth year. So, like, the hardest part of my prep was during the summer. So it was like July, August, September. It was the last 3 months of my prep, but I didn't have classes. So I had the whole time to do whatever I wanted, to hit my steps, to do my cardio, to train, to relax. I didn't have any other things to do than prep and bodybuilding. So it made everything so much easier and better for me. Then I had my first show at the end of September, um, and then October, November. So during this time, I didn't have exams, it was only classes. So yeah, it was not easy, of course, to stay in condition, in stage condition during 2 months and having classes at the same time. But I didn't have exams, and like the hardest part of my prep, when I had cardio, a lot of cardio and stuff, was when I didn't have classes. So it was perfect. It was the right time to prep. I didn't have a lot of things to do, like no big events. Most of my prep was when I didn't have classes, and it was easy to manage because no exams, few classes. So it was perfectly managed for like the timing to prep. But for example, this year I haven't done any prep. Why? First, because I needed to grow. I need 2 years to grow to be like competitive on stage and to gain enough muscle mass. But also Because this year I have many things to do. Like it's my last year of university. It's my last year of veterinary medicine as a student. So it means I have a lot of things to do. And for example, I have my thesis to write, and I have a final exam. I have my graduation. I have my prom nights. I have to move. I have to just like move across Europe. I have to clean my whole apartment, to sell and to give a lot of things in my apartment, to be able to move with my car and to go straight to UK. So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. And then I will, from October, work as a vet in a clinic in UK. So is it the right thing to do to prep at this time? Absolutely not. Because like for bodybuilding, you have two competing seasons. You have one season during the spring. So right now it started like in April, beginning of April. The season is starting. Usually it ends in like beginning of July. And then you have another season during the winter, autumn, winter. So like from September to end of November, start of December. And like if I was prepping for this winter, it would have meant to be on prep from like March, maybe March, April, and then go through thesis, graduation, final exam, prom night, moving across Europe, all of that in prep. So eating very low food, having a lot of cardio, having everything to manage on the side, which is extremely stressful. And then having to start a new job, my first ever job as a vet in a clinic in UK. So working, like first working is a big thing because I've always been a student, and now it will be my first job. And then like just living in a new country, having to find a home, a new home, new habits, new life. Like it's a completely new life for me coming. And doing all of that while competing? No way, no way. It would be like way too much stress and too much thing to manage, too many things to manage. And also, it's, as I said, it's very expensive. And it will also be very expensive to move across Europe, to rent an apartment, to buy furniture and everything I need. Okay, I will have a salary, but it's not a crazy salary as a first, like a beginner vet. I won't earn 5,000 euros, not at all. It's like half of it. So yeah, it's like, for example, this is not the right time at all to prep. This is why I've chosen to compete in winter 2024, because in winter 2024, I will be in a stable position. I will be settled in UK. I will be settled as a vet, and I will have a stable job and an income, the same income coming into my pocket every month. So it would be a stable position for me to prep, but definitely not this year. So this is why, like, you have to think about it. If you are in a similar position as I am, with many things to do, wait, wait, because maybe it's not the right time for you to prep, and don't make things way harder than it should, because it's already hard. So this is the other thing you have to think about. Don't prep when you have a lot of events coming and you have to travel, or you have many things you have to do, and which are going to just be very taxing and mentally exhausting. So you don't need that. Then it also links with everything else. You have to be away from any kind of stress, like big source of stress. So try to prep when you are in a low stress environment. So you don't have big things in your life, you're okay, you are in a good place mentally, everything is fine. Because if you are, I don't know, like not good, not good with mental health if you're depressed, if many things are stressing you out, if your job is stressing you out, if your family is stressing you out, if you, I don't know, if you have issues and it stresses you out all the time, don't prep, because prep is going to be a stress by itself for your body, because you will be in a calorie deficit. You will be exhausted because of all the activity you have to do. It will be already very stressful for your body and very stressful for your mind also, because you have to nail everything. So you have to organize yourself extremely well to be able to do everything perfectly. So don't add more stress, because stress is going to make everything worse. For example, your progression, like if you are stressed and you are like with chronically elevated cortisol, it will make your weight loss way harder, and you can also retain a lot of water. So avoid stress at any cost. I know it's not easy, and stress can happen when you don't expect it. But at least if you can plan ahead a bit and be sure you're not starting prep in a high stress environment, at least you can limit that as much as you can. Then it's like the sixth point. You have to be healthy. You have to be healthy to have a high metabolism, to be in a good position, to then be in deficit for a few months, and for your prep to be efficient. Because if you start prep and you're not healthy, if you start prep and your hormones are completely wrecked, if you, as a female, you don't have your periods, if you have very low estrogen, progesterone, if your testosterone is very low, if your thyroid is low, like you're not in a good position to prep. Like, please don't prep, because prep is not going to help. Prep is going to make everything worse. So if you start with already a bad health state, it will be even worse. And then what else after that? Because like if you finish prep and you're completely rock bottom, it's not okay. Like because you're going to suffer for sure, and it will be very hard to regain everything back to normal. So you really have to start prep in a healthy state. And also starting healthy will help you to have a more efficient prep, because everything is running well, you have good hormonal levels, you're healthy, so your body is going to respond well to the deficit. If you start and you're not in a good position, your body is not going to respond well, and prep is going to be even harder, and you will have to push even more and make your health even worse to be able to progress at the right pace. So please, 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 please don't start prep if you're not healthy, if everything is not at an optimal level. So also things are going to be different for natty versus enhanced competitors, because as a natty, your hormones are going to decline the whole prep and be very, very low at the end of prep. If you are enhanced, you have the luxury to be held, and you can replace your hormones. You can replace your estrogen levels. You can replace your progesterone levels. You can replace your testosterone levels. You can replace your thyroid levels. So you can add exogenous hormones to replace your endogenous production, which is going to help you a lot to maintain a certain level of health. I'm not saying it's healthy by itself to prep, but it will keep you healthier than natty competitors, because you will have healthy, normal, like hormone levels. So it will make a huge difference on your health, like overall health status during prep. So this is why enhanced competitors are, in my opinion, a bit healthier. Also depends on what they are doing. Okay, like let's make things clear. Some people are doing complete bullshit during prep, but just talking about the replacement part of like enhanced competitors, like being able to replace your hormonal like your hormones, and to have normal hormonal levels is going to be healthier than having rock bottom thyroid, rock bottom testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. So it's also something to consider. Like a natty prep is going to be very harsh on your body and your metabolism and your hormones and your reproductive function. And hence, competitors are going to be a bit healthier on this side during prep because they will be able to be in a good hormonal position the whole time, which is a big advantage. But also on the other side, they are going to push androgens and anabolics and like PEDs in general more, which is unhealthy. It depends on how you see it. But at least replacement, hormonal replacement, is way better than being natty and being rock bottom. I say that because I competed natty. My 2021 prep was entirely natty, and I was completely peeled, but all my hormones were extremely low, extremely low. And it was extremely hard. It was extremely hard, and recovering my hormones after prep was also very hard. So, yeah, I've been to the Nazi side. My next prep is going to be enhanced. But actually, right now, I'm cutting and I already see a difference because I'm using thyroid replacement, and wow, like it's just something completely different. Because because for the like first 19 weeks of my cut, I was not using any thyroid replacement, and I felt at one point that I was starting to get some thyroid adaptations. So like I was feeling lethargic and brain fog and stuff like that. So I was like, let's do blood work. And my blood work came back with the result that yes, my thyroid is indeed downregulated. So low T3, very high TSH. So it means my thyroid is declining because of the deficit, which is normal. But as I'm not natty anymore, I could afford replacing my thyroid hormones. So I'm taking for like 2 weeks T4 and T3, so combined therapy to replace my thyroid levels. And wow, like it's a game changer. Like the brain fog was gone in 2 days, and I feel way more awake, like focused. My energy levels are way better. I'm feeling so much better. Like it just was amazing. It had such a huge impact, just replacing my thyroid hormones. So yeah, it's just something I wanted to talk about. It's going to be different if you're natty or if you're enhanced. But still, for both competitors, doesn't matter natty or not, you have to start prep healthy. This is why you should do some blood work before prep to be sure you're in an optimal position to start prep and everything is at the right level and you have a normal menstrual cycle and everything is on point so you can start prep in the best position possible. So yeah, make sure you're healthy and you don't have any health issue, any things to deal with on this side before starting prep. And then the last point you have to think about is, are you in a good position with body composition? Like, is your body composition in a good place to start prep? Because if you're more than 20 kilo above stage weight, prep is going to be hard. Prep is going to be very hard and it can be very damaging on your health. And also it can like make your physique look worse because the longer the prep, the more aggressive the prep, the more muscle mass loss you can risk. So if at the end of prep you lose muscle mass, it's not what you want. Definitely not. Prep is not a skinny contest. Like bodybuilding is about muscle mass. It's not about losing muscle and being skinny. It's about keeping your muscle as much as you can and being peeled, but still having a big muscle mass. So you have to be in a good body composition to start prep. It means not overly fat and in a good health state. So also not overly like lean at the beginning of prep. Because if you're lean, like very lean at the beginning of prep, it means that maybe your off season was not really productive. Because also depends on everybody. Some people can stay lean and make progress and be healthy. But I would say most people need to be a bit higher in body fat during the hot season to be in a healthy state hormonally and to be able to progress optimally and to be able to have a high metabolism and eat a lot of food. So if you really have a productive off season, you should start like your prep with some body fat, not a lot, not too much, but some body fat, and also have high calories. So you can start your prep with high calories and have a lot of room to cut calories across the prep and have great progress ahead, still having the highest calories you can like along the prep. So this is why like you should start, I would say, your prep not more than 15 kilo over stage weight. So if along your prep you lose maximum 15 kilos, it should be okay, but not more. If you have to lose more than 15 kilo, maybe you should do a mini cut before or just a regular cut and then maintain and then prep or something like that. But you have to do a deficit before prepping to lose some kilo, to lose some fat, and then start prep with a good body composition. So if you're over 15 kilo over stage weight, do a cut before prepping. So you lose some fat and then prep with a good body composition. If you are less than 15 kilo over stage weight, then you can start your prep, but you have to take into account that it will be a longer prep, like maybe 30 weeks. So you also have to plan your prep very well and be sure you're prepared for like enough weeks to be able to be stage ready. So the goal is to step on stage peeled. The goal is to step on stage with a good condition. So you should be like very shredded at the end. And if you have a lot of fat to lose, it will take a lot of time and you have to account for this time and prepare. So like you have to calculate approximately the rate of fat loss and weight loss per week and just back count the weeks you need to be ready. So you have to approximate how many kilograms you have to lose, the pace at which you're going to lose these kilograms, and then how many weeks you need to be stage ready. So this is something you have to also really think about. This is why, for example, for the next like winter 2024 prep, right now I'm doing a cut. I'm not prepping, I'm just doing a cut because I want to be very lean to start my second off season with a lean body composition and not gain too much body fat during this off season. So I can start prep with a leanish body composition, which is not too far away from stage ready. So my prep can be like 20, 25 weeks instead of 30, 35 weeks. So this is why right now I want to be very lean, like as lean as possible. Like I would like to be around 65 kilograms. So my stage weight in 2021 was 55 kilograms. So in 3 years, not competing, I hope I've gained some kilos of muscles, especially because I'm not natty anymore. So it would be amazing if my stage weight in winter 2024 would be like, I don't know, 58, 60 kilograms. It would be great. We'll see. But like if right now at the end of this cut, I'm 66, 65 kilograms, And then I go into off season, and I don't know, maybe gain like 10 kilo in 10 months, something like that, maybe less. I will be like 10, 15 kilo above stage weight. So then it will be okay to prep. But I shouldn't be more than that. So this is why I really try to be as lean as possible right now for this cut, so I can go through my off season with a body composition which is okay, without too much body fat, and then be able to start prep in a good body composition, not overly fat, so my prep can be smooth and I won't risk any muscle mass loss. So this is a big thing here. It's really to have the smoothest prep possible and be able to retain my muscle mass as much as possible. So this is the 6 points, like these are the 6 points I wanted to talk about. And you have to think about, like, if you think about prep, you really have to take time and think about all these 6 points and answer like without any filters. Just think about it fully, take time to think and to plan ahead and see when is the right time to prep for you and if you are ready to prep right now or not. So really go through the 6 points, and it will help you to make a decision and find the best time for you to prep. So if some of these points are not like in a good position, just spend some time to make them like back to a good position before starting prep. So yeah, you really have to try to optimize all these 6 points. As I said, it won't be perfect. It's never perfect. Like, you won't wait until all stars are perfectly aligning for you to prep, because maybe it won't happen. But you still have to prep in the best condition you can find. You have to put like all things on your side, so prep is easy and smooth and it's not harder than it should be. So yeah, I hope it will be like, I hope all this information are going to bring you some interesting thing to think about and going to help you to make your own decision about starting prep and to do it in the best condition possible. So I think that's it for today. And I wish you a great whatever, depending on when you're listening to this podcast. And yeah, I hope it will help. And if it helped, please leave a comment or just tell me about it, because I'm very happy to have some feedback from you guys. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode and see you in the next one.